Continuing on with our 2020 Vikings training camp preview, today we're taking a look at the interior of the Vikings defensive line. The big dudes, the big uglies, but they're beautiful. Low man wins. It's a game of leverage. Vikings run defense last year, not great. Was part of it lack of someone stepping up a 3-tech. Was part of it a Linval Joseph, the sun had set a little bit. All of it combined. But Vikings looking pretty damn studly on defensive tier if they'll give the right guys the time of day. Right. So first off, number 98, Michael Pierce, who wore 97 in Baltimore, as you can see. Hence why the Vikings are going to re-sign Everson Griffin. Numerology podcast coming soon. But Michael Pierce, 6 foot, 345. If he's an ounce, please. I know 400-pound dudes. I watch them on TLC all the time. Actually, that's my 600-pound life. Michael Pierce is a dude. It's like Pat Williams is always listed at 310 pounds. Baloney, please. Former 2016 UDFA out of Samford University. Spent 4 years with the Ravens. Eventually inked up a 3-year, $27 million deal here with the Minnesota Vikings to replace Linval Joseph. And dude is just an absolute straight-up bowling ball. He's great against the run. I think he's very underrated in terms of a penetrating nose tackle as well. So I think that we'll see some 3-down work from him, a la shades of early Vikings career Linval Joseph. His peak season, 2018, when he put up a 91 PFF grade, a 92 run defense grade, which is 4th in the NFL for defensive interiors, behind only Snacks Harrison, Akeem Hicks, and Aaron Donald. Perhaps you've heard of him. So I'm excited about Michael Pierce. Free agency seems like it happened like 9 years ago, didn't it? Yeah. Next up, number 96, Armon Watts. Armon for Watts, 6'5", 300 pounds. Last year was a 6th-round pick out of Arkansas. Just never really got the time of day. I think was overlooked. Well, he's used to being overlooked because he didn't really get on the field in Fayetteville until his final season because Burt Bielema is a dummy. But last year, 121 total snaps, 2 sacks, 4 pressures, 8 tackles. And I think that he just does have that penetrating factor that a lot of the other players that they put at 3-tech last year just didn't have, right? So they haven't really fully replaced Sheldon Richardson, and they still haven't gotten over Sharif Floyd. So I think if Armon Watts actually does get some time on the field, he certainly could be that dude in that 3-tech mix. Next up, another dude. All right, so we could have talked about him on the Edge episode, but we decided to toss him in on the defensive tier because I actually think, besides Watts, I think James Lynch could be sneaky great as the Vikings 3-tech. 6'3", 295-pound junior. Now, it's relatively light for a 3-tech, but dude is just relentless. 4th-round pick out of Baylor. 2019, 70 pressures, 19.5 tackles for loss, 13.5 sacks. Unanimous first-team All-American, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time first-team All Big 12. Was just absolute stud. Where, yeah, he fell because he doesn't. He's not a workout wonder. He doesn't check all the boxes in terms of measurables, but the dude has heart. The dude has grit, and he's just going to absolutely come in and destroy and get after it, which I love. No matter where he plays, 3-tech. Defensive end, both, don't care. Absolutely don't care. Just get James Lynch on the field. Next up, another guy. God, there's so many fun names on the defensive interior. So Hercules Mataafa, Bad Mataafa, coming into year 3, 6'2", bulked up to 289, came in the league at 254, which pretty light for a defensive tackle. But at Washington State for Mike Leach, he was just an absolute stunner. 2017 Consensus All-American, 2017 Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year, 21 career sacks, 45.5 tackles for loss in 34 games. Tore his ACL at rookie camp right out of the gate in 2018, put him on the shelf. 2019, I mean, he had a nice training camp, a nice preseason, and we thought, all right, so maybe this is it. He had bulked up to like 270, somewhere in that range, but only ended up playing 100 total snaps in 2019, most of that week 17 against the Bears. So it's just like, but he still, I mean, he's not a guy you want to bet against. He certainly has that laser focus and will work his ass off. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Also, number 93, Shamar Stephen, the big fundamental, Andre Patterson's favorite defensive lineman, who is a bit of a nose tackle, a bit of a 3-tech hybrid, 6'5", 309, 7th through pro, came in originally as a 7th-round pick out of UConn, and he's a lot like Dakota Dozier on the offense side of the ball, where once coaches feel really comfortable with a player who's bit average, but it certainly has all the technical things under wraps, as well as they have the entire scheme in their back pocket. Makes sense. Shamar Stephen had a year off. He had a gap year in Seattle before signing him to a 3-year free agent deal last year. So the Vikings can save some money if they do cut him. I mean, there's going to be a lot of talent here. It is a bit of a numbers game, but I don't know if Andre Patterson's in your corner. I think he could stick around for another season in purple. Next up, 3 more to go. So Jalen Holmes apparently changed his number. He was 92, and now he's 91 on the official roster. 6'5", 283. Was a 2018 fourth-round pick out of Ohio State University. Hasn't really pieced it together. Now, he was a defensive end in college, and he was a captain. He was a leader there. But also, they've moved him around between edge and 3-tech. They just don't really know exactly where they want to put him. And it may just be a numbers game, because if Jalen Holmes isn't getting it done yet again, even though he's still only in year 3 of his rookie deal, I mean, they may let him go, or they may put him on the practice squad to make room for Watts and Lynch and Badmana Afa, etc. 2 more to go. Number 94, Jaleel Johnson. So speaking of guys who's a bit of a failure to launch, although last year was a career year. 6'3", 316, 2017 fourth-round pick out of Iowa. And I was excited about him coming in, because initially when he was drafted, you'd think that he was going to be at 3-tech. But then they decided to mold him a bit into a Shamar Stephen-esque player, where he's a bit of a 3-tech hybrid as well as a nose tackle. Played 433 snaps last year with 4 pressures, 3.5 sacks, and 19 tackles, all career highs. So maybe there's a little 7-7 there. Maybe there'll be a bit of a spark. Maybe he'll be your day 1 3-tech, at least on... It's that 3-tech weird, right? Random. So, Red Bull? I got a buddy who says Red Bull really weird, saying like bull is Red Bull. But Jaleel Johnson could be like last year, where Shamar Stephen was your early down, running down 3-tech, and Linval Joseph was your nose tackle, where you could have Jaleel Johnson as your early down, run down 3-tech, as well as Michael Pierce at nose tackle. I'm going to be thrilled, but it is what it is. Lastly, so... guy who may not make the roster if they do have to trim down from 87 to 80, but David Moa, number 60, 6'3", 296, a bit of an undersized nose tackle, but got after it at Boise State. Older prospect, spent 6 years in college, was on the full-on Van Wilder program. Started 14 games last year. Teammates of Ezra Cleveland and Alexander Madison. Chemistry. Started 14 games last year, 6.5 tackles for loss and a sack. Was all Mountain West first team in 2016. It's way back then. As well as second team in 2018 and last year. Could compete for a practice squad spot, maybe develop from there, but man. All right, so that's it. That is a look at the Vikings defensive interior line. I mean, there's lots to be excited about. There's a lot of potential, but of course, I mean, potential and a nickel will get you a cup of coffee. That's not the saying. Don't care. It's all good. But yeah, the Vikings defensive line, even though there's a lot of changes, there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of hope with all these young players. But your thoughts, Vikings defensive tier, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work, pull us up on the Venmo. Plus give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skol, production value.